The Alleghany Journal is delighted to speak with Dr. John Sedovy, who's a general surgeon at Bath Community Hospital. And he joins us today to just talk in general about his practice. John's relatively new to the Bath County region, well, year and a half. And so we very much appreciate him taking the time to speak with us. Welcome, John.
Well, thanks for having me. Thank you.
Dr. Sedovy, of all places, why did you choose Bath Community Hospital to practice?
Bath Community was a good choice for me. I had a practice in Lexington, Virginia for about 23 years, and I had known some people that were in Bath County. They asked me to give it a shot over there, or to come over to try to fill a void that was what was explained to me was greatly needed. So I decided to switch my practice over to Bath County, and I have offices in both Covington and Hot Springs. And I've very much enjoyed it. I think it's been a great move for me. I enjoy the practice, and I'm hoping that I am actually filling that void well.
We hear that you're certainly doing so. And just as a bit of background, can you tell the public, what does a general surgeon do? Are you talking about, like thoracic issues or lung and heart issues? And exactly what is general surgery?
General surgery is different depending on kind of where you practice and how you practice. For instance, rural general surgery tends to be a lot different than, say, an urban general surgeon. The urban general surgeons, the ones in the big institutions, big university centers, tend to specialize in one thing or a very narrow focus. Rural general surgery has to expand into a lot of different areas, and we can take care of quite a large array of problems, but we have our backups from the larger institutions for things that would require some specialized care. I can speak probably best to my own practice. I do a lot of gastrointestinal work. I do endoscopies, both upper endoscopy as well as colonoscopy. I do hernia repairs. I remove gallbladders if they're giving you trouble. We can do appendectomies and other types of operations, skin operations, breast operations. Now, the typical general surgeon wouldn't do thoracic, but some of them actually do. Some of the older surgeons that I knew had quite a big thoracic practice, but that's more of a specialty nowadays.
Okay.
I usually explain to people: no bones, no brains, no hearts, that sort of thing.
Well, as a member of the general public, we often wonder, people with your talent must see it all at some point. And the question of prevention and diet is bandied around a lot in the press. You're a professional in this field. How important is prevention and diet so that we don't have to come and see fellas with your specialty so often?
Well, that's a really great question. Prevention is the key in my view. If you come to me with a problem, I mentioned that I do quite a bit of gastrointestinal work. If you come to me with a problem, we're invariably going to speak about diet, activity, and other things that just help the gut to work. We talk about prevention in terms of colonoscopies or other methods for colon cancer screening. But the short answer to your question is prevention is very much preferred to treatment.
Okay. Well, you beat me, as any good interviewee, you beat me to the question I was going to ask next, and that is colonoscopies. How you rate that on a scale of 1 to 10? How important is it, And if so, is there an age range where the public needs to pay attention to this issue?
There's guidelines for colonoscopy.
Okay.
Now, when I say colonoscopy, that's one method for screening. There are other methods. The colonoscopy tends to be the most, well, it's the in many ways the preferred approach. It's the best preventative way, and it is the gold standard for prevention of colon cancer. When we talk about colon cancer, it's the #2 cancer killer in the United States. So it does take on a lot of importance. And unlike some of the other cancers, it is preventable. You can either catch it early or you can actually prevent it in most cases. The current guidelines for normal risk people, that is people that do not have a history of polyps and do not have a family history of colon cancer, is the age 45 to 75.
I see.
And so if you're going to do colonoscopy, if you're normal risk and we don't find polyps on your exam and there's no family history of colon cancer, it's just once every 10 years. If we do find problems, well, we're happy that we found them, so we can counsel you on how to deal with them.
Doctor, we're curious, in looking at your background, you were educated, at least in part, at Temple University, a well-known, internationally renowned university. Just out of curiosity, why did you choose Temple?
Well, that's a bit of a convoluted story, but I started out as an engineering major at Drexel University, and I discovered after a couple years that engineering probably wasn't my best subject of study. I did enjoy biology, and I discovered that medicine was going to be the best fit for me. So I transferred over to a more liberal arts college of Temple University. I was living in Philadelphia, and as a young man, I had to see the big city. I'm a small town person by nature, grew up in a small town, choose to live in a small town now, but I had a 9-year experience in the big city of Philadelphia, and Temple was very good to me. I was, I'd say after 9 years, I was a little sad to leave Philadelphia, but I do feel that I'm in the right place now.
Seems to me we've heard a rumor that you are currently enjoying your first grandson. This is a little personal note. You're 8 behind me in that particular, but we have a baseball team in our family. But congratulations, certainly, on that score. And it seems from what we've heard that your inclusion with Bath Community Hospital, it's not just Bath County, as you've mentioned. You also see patients in Covington on a regular basis. That's correct, isn't it?
Yes, sir. I have office days in Covington and in Hot Springs.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
And with respect to your practice, is there any one thing other than basic diet and paying attention to what you tell us when we come and see you, but are there other preventative things that the public should know about before they schedule an appointment with you, or do people just say, "Hey, I've got a problem. I need to see a pro like Dr. Sedovy and to show up at the clinic"?
Well, typically people would come through their primary care doctors. They don't necessarily need to if they're looking to, have colon screening, that sort of thing. They could probably, depending on insurances, probably could come directly here. But typically people are going to come because they have a problem, and we will talk about your problem. We'll try to figure out narrow it down to what the problem might arise from, and then we'll develop a plan to both try to figure out what that is exactly and then how to treat it. I mean, that's the basic guideline for almost all the problems. Preventative is a little bit different. Sometimes people come just for the colon screen as recommended through the American Cancer Society.
Well, we lucked out and caught you on a busy day, and we very much appreciate you taking the time to speak with us. Look forward to meeting you personally, not necessarily through the computer screen one day. And really, thanks again for joining us at the Journal.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. And sure your listeners or viewers are going to be very surprised that I'm old enough to be a grandfather.
Thanks again. Bye.
All right. Bye.